Hi there, I'm Robert Dudzic.
If it sounds good to me, it sounds good. Like, I don't have an audio degree. I don't know what's out of phase, and I really know about this thing. So that's my whole setup right now.
Yeah.
It's insane. The harder you're going to hit this thing, the weaker the sound's going to be.
Your processing later is not that crazy. You use a little bit of saturation, very interesting source sounds already.
That's the key. You figure it out. That's the secret.
Apart from the introduction, I'm super, extremely excited. I'm even a little bit nervous because we have Robert Dudzic here as a guest speaker. And my confession is that when I started about 12 years ago in sound design, and I tried to also look left and right, what do other sound designers do, I found Robert's YouTube channel where he put up a video called How I Do What I Do. And this was a huge inspiration for me. And I think we also have people in the chat who kind of have a similar story. Welcome, Robert. I'm very happy to have you. But tell us a little bit about yourself. What is it that you do?
Hi, guys. It's great to see you, all of them, and the honor. And thank you so much, Chris, for inviting me, participating thing. And to be honest, I say yes right when you send me because I just love talking about what I do. Because if you love what you do, you never have to work the rest of your life. So, and that's my kind of purpose, share with you guys stuff how I'm doing, and hope I give you some inspiration or push you to try something new. And if I just change one person, I'm going to sleep very well at this night. But how I start, what I do. So I'm the sound designer, producer. I start sound design originally doing for the radio stations. Then I get contract with ABC. Then I starting move on. Then I get signed by agency in Los Angeles. Then I starting producing sound design for the TV shows for TV promos. Then I transfer to designing and producing sounds and music for the movie trailers. And that's like a biggest name, like the latest Top Gun or like the Star Wars trailers, you name it, a lot of Marvel's movies. There's information on my channel, and actually follow me on Instagram. You can see because I constantly posting whatever new projects are. Some I can't talk because I'm under NDA, so you're not supposed to talk about this until the review day. But this is what I do, and I decided one day, why not just share what I do? A friend of mine come to me, Dylan Jiger, who's actually he was in the filming school in Boston. And he wanted to do like project for his school and do like some kind of documentary on me because he find out he's fascinated with what I'm doing. I said, yeah, sure. Okay. So we both don't know what we're doing. And this is how I was introduced to YouTube. And this is how we make the original video, How I Do What I Do. And with the titles, like, how are you going to cut the title? I just kind of say, hey, I'm just going to show people how I do what I do. And I think, you know what? That's the title. How I do what I do. It describes everything. Yep. So we film this thing and we post first video on Facebook. I remember showing this downstairs my wife and it's like, yeah, go ahead. You okay. You post it. So I post the video. And like in 1 hour, I get like 2,000 or 3,000 views. And I said, whoa, what's going on? And shares and messages was coming. So this basically triggered, and rest from this thing is history. So we're probably going to answer all of you guys' questions, what's happened next. But this is how I start. So, just from be like you doing sound just for fun, I basically turned this thing to be my career, and having pretty good living would change my life, you know. And I'm very grateful for this, and I'm able to support my family and myself, you know.
Yeah. So, but
that's really
you say that the first video was done by a film student. So the first how I do what I do video, somebody came to you and then filmed this and did this whole setup.
Yeah. So basically, he come with one camera, those Canon camera, like holding this, and we just film, and it's basically I was like throwing stuff, the stuff that I was already having. Like, I don't know what they're gonna do. So I want to show something. But we do like 2 minutes, so there was not enough to show a lot of stuff, but there was enough to build people interest and trigger, because I find out something like no one ever did anything like this. Show the way how I show, you know. Another designer is Diego Stacco, who's doing stuff, but he's kind of fade out. I don't know where he is right now. But, you know, like watching him, but, you know, he was always like inspiration. And one day he's like, I was never thinking I would do something like this. And it's just happened, you know. And after this, he helped me with the second video. And because, you know, like I don't have a cameras, nothing. Then we go on the locations, and he helped me sometimes film on the location, because that was hard, until I get to the point where I get myself my own cameras. And I said, that's it, you know, I can't ask him for everything I want to do, because I was starting to have a lot of ideas and a lot of requests from people. So I started buying myself video equipment. So I started learning softwares, you know, and how to edit video, how doing. And gotta say, like working in the radio helped me a lot, because I know how edit radio promos, how producing commercials. I know how make people interest, where to cut, copy, paste, whatever, how to edit to get people interest, and at the end make them feel like, I want to see more. What's going to be next? You know what I mean? So I learned this thing. And this is kind of like, you know, it's come from the experience getting from, you have to work around 60 seconds, sell the commercial, sell the product. So help me. But as right now, for like the last 3-4 years, anything what you see on YouTube or any social media, anything, I do 100% on my own, everything. From sound design to come with these ideas, to filming, editing, post-production, uploading, whatever. You name it.
Would you say that the first video that you did and uploaded to YouTube, was that kind of the kickstart to your bigger career, because people got interested and then they started contacting you? Or
yeah.
Okay.
People started to contact me, but if you watch my first video or second video, or even I think so, third video, I never speak. Yes. Because I was always afraid of my accent. And I realized to the point, I say, you know what? Screw that. If people want to understand you, they will understand you. If people don't want to understand you, no matter what you're gonna say, they're just not gonna understand you. They just don't like it. So you know what? Move on. Nobody to watching anything.
I mean, we have, as I said, we have a lot of students, junior people sometimes that are in our group, and it's always the question, you know, if I have a good product, will it sell? If I'm a good sound designer, will I get a job? What do you think was the most beneficial thing for your career? Was it the sound design knowledge, or was it kind of the business knowledge that you had? Because from your website, I kind of have read between the lines that you kind of found a niche for yourself.
It's basically what I get right now. It's a natural evolution, just like baby. When you're born, you're starting crawling. Then you're starting walking. Then you're starting learning how to drive skateboard. Then you're learning how to drive bicycle. Then you move to the car. Then you move to the plane. There's evolution of everything. Same thing with my sound design. You know, I start from like just fool around making sounds, never thinking people will be even interested in what I was doing, and they're gonna like my sounds, or I will be able to sell them or making money of them. Never. That was my never goal. I did it because when I come to America, I was completely broke. I don't have the money, and I was working for like 12 years in produce department, and I was in the weekends, I play in the wedding band, and in the nighttime, and the weekdays, I was like cleaning like car garage and like dentist office or like regular office just to survive. And I get to the point where when I just no want to spend the rest of my life doing this. So I buy myself first computer, and I always want to be a musician. So I started playing with sounds, and I get like, I think so, Cakewalk and SoundForge and Sonic Foundry, and I started like fool around with this thing, and sound starts pretty cool. So I get myself like Korg M1. So I learned about the sequencer. Then I get like Alessi drums. Then what I get? Oh, then I get my DAT recorder Sony TV7. I still remember to these days. And like some microphones, friend of mine sent me, and I started recording sounds, and I started playing with them. Then they come the digital recorder. And I remember those M Audio recorder, my first digital recorder when I get it, and I record the sound with this little T microphone. It just completely blew my mind. I said, oh my God, this is what I want to do. And I started into sound design. But when I did, I never thinking about like, I'm going to sell them. And radio stations approached me, can we use the sound? I said, yeah, sure, no problem, you can use this now. But the company was having, I think some of this was called like Clear Channel in America. They have a like server when people just upload the sound effects, and other stations basically in network download them and use them. So I speak with the manager of the site for the company, and I say, okay, I'll let you do on one condition. I don't want to be in the pile. I want to might have separate folder. So guys, for you, important thing, whatever you do, think about whatever you do, whatever you're going to give, make sure you're going to get some kind of credit and start brand yourself. Because this is what I learned. It's all about branding, about recognition. You know, you can give your sounds and nobody will ever know who did this thing. If you contribute to like some library, remember, the library is going to get credit. You're going to get tiny little mention, nothing else. You always have to negotiate for something bigger. What's going to benefit you in the next time. And a lot of times, you know, not necessarily money, because business works by recommendations. If you good for people will recommend you the next gig, and you never know. I did with these videos, and these videos just lead me to other products, products where other people contact me. And if people like your stuff, they will just contact you, and they're going to hire you for something. So this is what's happened to me. You know, I get signed, I get referral, people like me. And now, you know, like I work even with Native Instruments. I work like right now with the new upcoming, previously, and the new upcoming Rolly Seaboard Rise 2. I work with Arturia, with Roland, you name it. It's like pretty much any brand, or Yamaha, Steinberg, any big brand, whatever people like going to the music store and see this thing. I probably work with them right now. And only because I was giving my sounds, and I share and let people know, hey, this is me. You know, I'm Robert Dudzic. I live in a small town. I live in the woods. I don't live in California. And this is what I do. And today, having this, you know, the utilities what we have to using, like all social media marketing, you can do so much stuff with yourself, marketing yourself. And it's very important, brand and marketing. Because I always say musicians go to like music school, like Berkeley School, and they become phenomenal players. But there could be music school in Austria when they're going to have great players coming the same year finishing. They're going to have great violinists coming in China. They're going to have in Japan. They're all going to fight about one thing: get the gig, the best job. You know, play like in the opera house or somewhere. It's hard to get this thing, but what they're not teaching people how you market yourself. Otherwise, you're going to end up performing in the street.
Yeah.
Or be like how I call someone bitch, basically work for somebody as a background musician. You're not going to be yourself. Same thing with sound design, you know. You got to not only focus on your craft, what you want to do, you have to spend some time on how you're going to market yourself, how you're going to present yourself to the world. You have to show your sounds, and you have to find your unique niche, how you're going to approach. Because I always say, if you want to copy somebody, it's great. I copy in the beginning, because that's the thing. When you copy somebody in the beginning, you're learning your tools, because you figure out how they're doing this stuff. And that's never a problem. And there's no wrong in the beginning. Copy people, because the more you're going to copy them, you're going to start to feel more comfortable with your tools, and eventually you will find your own sound. So there's nothing, it's a natural evolution. It's going to happen no matter, to everyone. Finally, your DNA will be imprinted in your sound. And this is what I do to my sounds. You know what I mean? I don't have to hear something sound. I just look at my waveform, and I already know how they sound, because I just know my DNA. I know how I record, and whatever I send after, it sounds like me. And probably this is why trailer companies or like other audio companies contact me to producing stuff for them, because they know my sound and they want the sound. Because you can't copy the sound. There's something unique. People do maybe imitate close, but it's not going to be the same.
I'm very happy because Kasia, she's also in the audience today. Kasia Dziekan, she recommended this book to me by.
She's got to be Polish, yes.
She's Polish, yeah.
Hey, dzień dobry, Kasia. I speak Polish.
Exactly. Oskar Światowski is also here, so he's also from Poland, I think. And yeah, so she recommended this book to me by, I don't know the first name again, Cleon, and he had a book, Show Your Work, and it's kind of exactly what you shouldn't be afraid to show your work to other people. Being afraid that they can copy you or take the best ideas. It's about showing what you do, building your brand, building a practice, building your own style. And there's one sentence that kind of really got into my head. What if your next boss wouldn't need to read your CV when you applied somewhere, because he already is reading your blog or looks at your Instagram videos because he's a fan of your work. So it's if you share your work, and the potential new employer already knows who you are because you build a brand, it's much easier, right? And this goes into the same way.
If the employer is going to call you, you know his CV. That's the reason
exactly. Yes.
This is the reason why he's called you. He already knows who you are. Your job will be negotiate what's going to be the best benefits from you of this gig.
Yeah, exactly. What would you say then? You put an extraordinary amount of time into the videos that you do on YouTube. They are a little bit longer. You have the shorts on YouTube. You have probably the same shorts that you upload to Instagram. What would you say is kind of a very important platform for you to show your work to other people? Is it Instagram? Because there you have a lot of views. Is it YouTube, or is the website something that you would say you absolutely need?
You know what? It's good to having your own website, like I have my robertdudzic.com, because it's basically, okay, that's your main hub. But not many people anymore check website. If people checking website, they're going to go to Amazon or something else. You know what I mean? Like something major, if you really, or like some company. This is just for me, okay, I have my domain name. I have my website in the beginning. But right now, really, like, it's important you stay in touch with the people. Don't be pushy, but just let them know, say, hey, I'm here. You know what I mean? This is what I do. And don't be afraid. Show you stuff. And, yes, I have a YouTube because I started YouTube first, long time ago. Then I start Facebook. Then I was having question, what are they going to do next? Then I have a friend of mine, Vanessa, who she's like a guru for social media. She's nominated, and she get the award prize, top 10 innovating people on the social media for Facebook and Instagram. And it's happened, we work together in the radio stations. So I know her from the days when she was intern. And she speak Polish. Her parents was Polish. So we have kind of a good connection. So I take her to dinner. We all go, and we talk what I want to do. And she guided me in the beginning how to navigate in the social media. So if you have somebody, who know how these things work, you can pay them even, for like consulting, and you're basically investing in yourself. After this, after like 6 months, I was okay. I was my own fish swimming in my water, because she gave me so much stuff, navigation, what I have to learn. Then I have like the bullet points. Then I started learning more on the internet from other people, watching other people YouTube videos or Instagram, take examples, learn about the hashtags, all those things. So I moved to the Instagram, and Instagram become right now, like I think so I have like 130,000 followers. For the sound design, I think so it's pretty good,
I think it's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I just found out other day, I post video 2 weeks ago, and I don't know if you have an Instagram, you can go to my page. And it's like, okay, so I click on the statistic, and I was like, what the heck is going on? Look at the numbers.
4 million views. Crazy. Yeah.
And shares, and how many? I was never expecting this. So this is what I mean, guys. It's you don't know. If you're creating something cool and you think it's cool, just post and share it with people. With this potential, how many people see this thing? It's big potential that people share, and some movie director or like sound design studio, someone's going to see and say, hey, this guy has talent, let's contact him. And today, you don't have to live in Vienna to work in a company, example, in Austria, or you don't have to live in Los Angeles to work like, some video company or work in the movie. You can live anywhere because they can find you. Mm-hmm. So don't be afraid to show and do stuff like this, because it works. So social media is important right now. It's basically social media for me. It's your digital CV. It's like almost like a 2.0 CV. Mm. Yeah. It's probably better than any paper CV,
I think so, because I have dealt with hiring people, and the CV is just a wall of text, and you have no idea what the people actually do and how they do it. Obviously, everybody has a demo reel, a sound reel, but it's just a small snippet, a very small window into what they do. So having something like you have with a track record, many videos, is obviously creates also more trust.
Yeah, people know, okay, he definitely has his own style, his concept, what he's doing is different. Because remember, when people do reel, they're going to put all your best stuff, and you don't know how long it takes them to get this thing. When you're getting person to work, it's a deadline, and you have to be in demand. You know what I mean? It's like you have to be flexible, you have to be creative, and you have to know how to deliver a job. And really, sometimes people take 3-4 months to edit, to finally, I think so, I'm happy. And then a lot of points, they will be like, it's already overdue, and it doesn't sound real. It sounds like fake, like they were staged or something. You know what I mean? Like pre-made. So it's very important, you know what I mean? Besides real, it's like you can show you real, but if you want to see deeper of my story, send them link to your social media when you post like your videos, like example, like Instagram, doesn't matter, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, you show something. And if people are going to get interest of your reel, they want to see more. And this is where they're going to see, and they're going to see people reaction. It's important see people reaction, because if people like your videos, they share with this thing. I say, okay, obviously it's something in this guy. People approve his sound, people like his sound. That's another factor what's going to work as a big plus to hire you.
You create sounds also for sound libraries, but you now mentioned that a director would call you. Are you working with teams of a sound studio? Are you working directly on the Hollywood movies, or do you provide a certain sound library where people pick from?
I provide. So my sound, I'm not selling sounds. My sounds are exclusively licensed. Each sound is licensed for the individual project. So if there was Top Gun, they're licensed several of my different sounds, you know what I mean, like flying jets or other stuff. They're licensed for the trailer for the movie. Then doesn't matter, it's a Marvel movie or something, or Star Wars, you name it, or Batman movie. They're licensing this stuff and they're going strictly to my name, to my collection, because they know I do specific sounds and that's the specific sounds for the genre. What they know is going to work for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, I find my sound, I find my tone, my style. And I got to say, a lot of the video editors and the people who work on the TV networks who edit promos around the world, doesn't matter, it's Europe or America somewhere, they're all on Instagram too. They're all on YouTube. And just like anyone else, they like to hear story of the sounds. And I think so the success, big part of my success is because I'm not taking someone else's sounds and modify them in the computer. Mm-hmm. People see how I'm recording the sounds and how easy I process and how I make them sound big. And editors want it because, trailer houses, they pay premium money for this thing because if you think there's like 200 million budget movie, they're going to have 30 seconds trailer, what's going to sell the movie. Everything inside, it's got to be custom, top quality. You can't just send them library, what are you going to take, like, I don't know, a sound effects library or like Boom, Sound Morph or some other library and just, you're going to like twist them a little bit and these people are not stupid. That's the reason why they're doing this stuff. They know these sounds. They're going to recognize you. And the moment they're going to recognize you modify sounds, you basically toast,
that is super interesting. Yeah, of course.
You're gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then no. Because I know personally, I have friends, I'm friends with the guys from Boom. And they apply, a lot of the sounds is licensed too for the trailers. So of course the editors know the sounds too. So to get to this thing, you gotta creating your own unique stuff.
Mm-hmm. I guess on that level, everything is exclusive. Also when you look at behind the scenes, how the sound design teams work, also for the games industry.
Yeah, exactly.
The AAA games always have their own teams of 5 people, and they go out and they record everything. And I think, well, there are sound libraries where you can get, wins and stuff. Why do you go out? But they want to have exclusive sounds that they know are theirs. It's only in their game. Because they're operating on such a high level.
Yeah, like I have very good friends with a lot of like video game composer or sound designer, like a very good friend of mine. He lives in my state. His name is Tom Sorta. And he's responsible. He did video game score for like Halo. He right now just, I think so, finished on the Deadloop soundtrack for the game where basically like I'm making custom sounds too for this thing because they want to have unique. I work, with composers, who work directly with Hans and the remote over there, and I'm making custom sounds just for them, for the unique projects, you know what I mean? Because they all want to have the unique sounds, you know what I mean? These people don't like using stock library sounds, It's the reason why they make at the top. That basically stock library of the sounds are made based what this guy creating over there. Mm-hmm. Because it's just like even when you find like a synth patches for your keyboard, you think you buy, okay, the sound bank sounds like dubstep, okay, this sounds like Skrillex, but he already exists. You're just gonna come as a copy. So the chance for you to make in the business is like slight to nothing. You're already like 12 months behind.
Yeah, at least. You said that you would recognize your sound. We have a question from Valentin. If you recognize your sounds when you watch movies.
Sounds in the movies and trailers, whatever you do, not always, but a lot of time they overlay with something else. So it's hard to be recognized, but I'm getting after sometimes I recognize them because even my wife, because I have like signature of my pitch bands, how I do or something. And, I can recognize them, but you don't know to the end if that was my son, because it sounds like my son. Then, then like 3 months later, you're getting statement from your agency. I say, oh yeah, this and this sound was used. Like I just get like other day emails like, oh yeah, there's another more sounds was used for the Top Gun, for the trailer. I say, okay. Like you not even remember, it's sometimes it's so recognizable, then
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So.
By the way, people, if you want to ask questions, there's the Q&A button on the bottom of the Zoom window. So if you have any questions, shoot them in there. You can upvote them, and then at some point when it fits, we can ask them, no problem. So go to the Q&A tab. When you create sounds, then what is your kind of process for designing them? How precise do you already plan the things out, or do you get big in the videos that you have? It seems like you are very deliberate. You go to this one place, you get all the sounds that you can. Do you know for a specific contract you're going to make sounds for a Batman trailer, Batman movie? Do you kind of make a plan of how to go about it? What is your process there?
Okay, so I have two techniques. One of the technique, and I will advise this to allow you guys, if you're looking for the idea of the making sounds, making a whole bunch of sounds, and it's going to making all sense useful for something, I would just take like a movie poster, like Blu-ray cover from you. Look at this picture and just imagine what sounds you will be add to this picture to make this sounds real. So if you watch Star Wars, you know what sounds gonna go sci-fi, you're gonna get this kind of sounds. You're gonna go action movie, you got a car crash or something. You have ideas which sounds will be go with the picture. So basically I'm going in the locations and trying find the sounds which will be kind of match the picture what I want to record. And I gonna record that. So if I'm gonna work, example, like I know I'm using a lot of time like for Star Wars trailer or something, or like Marvel movie. My first thing, I'm gonna record a lot of hydraulic stuff. It's mean like a lot of hydraulic doors, escalators, elevators, you name it, like a lot of sliding doors, so many things, a lot of computer movements, like you sit in the car, move your chair, how the chair is moving, move your steering wheel, up and the sequence can go in. So, you name it. So I record a lot of stuff like this. So that's one of the techniques what I do. But another things what I do, I feel sometimes I call myself like a hamster during the summer. I'm finding locations where I want to go record sounds. And I spend over there usually 1 month going many times I go. And I always bring my camera, film stuff, because it takes a little bit longer. And I record many sounds I can. Then I have like a 10 terabytes, hard drive stuck with stuff. Then when it's getting cold here, like during the fall and winter, this is where the magic happens. So I'm starting recording the sounds or processing, editing. So this is an example, like I just launched my series about 2 months ago. It's called Limitation Breeds Creativity. Guys, I spent 6 or 7 months filming this. I have over 100 hours of 4K video footage recording different stuff in my studio with sounds. What I'm going to share, basically how I transform from nothing to like big, massive cinematic sounds. And I'm showing very simple process how I do. So if you don't see this thing, I would highly recommend you because it's on my YouTube channel and it's in the playlist. It's called Limitation Breeds Creativity. And this is basically where I'm showing my gear, what I'm using, and I'm going through the details from the exporting the file in my station, how I mix down the file, which plugins I'm using, how I process my audio, how I edit, what's my approach, and how I basically tune everything to the end when you hear like, whoa. Or I can show how you create like a big cinematic drum hits when you just use basically drum hit, nothing else. You don't have to go, because sometimes, you got to think outside the box, you got to just come with the idea. So
one interesting thing I noticed on that note of your video, when we have our sound challenge, we are a little bit limited in time. So many of us record something, and then for the sound challenge, we put it together and we do most of the stuff in the box. So we have, crazy plugin chains, etc. But what I noticed in your process, at least this is my perception from watching that video, you get a lot of the complexity of the sound already at the source. So you don't get just a drum head, you get a drum head and then attach springs to it. And then you put stuff on, and then you put something and something. And your processing later is not that crazy. You use a little bit of saturation and then multiband compression, but it doesn't seem that crazy. So does your, let's say, a little bit creative process or signature sound come more from getting very interesting source sounds already?
That's the key. You figure it out. That's the secret.
Woohoo!
The secret to
Finally.
to the great sound design, it starts with the source. I prefer investing more time to recording something interesting, find a sweet spot where you can get the best sound, instead bringing this thing to my workstation. And trust me, I have probably every possible plugin in the world, because a lot of companies just sending me plugins.
Mm-hmm.
Do I use them? If it's something cool, I use it. Sometimes I buy plugin because I like it. But I'm using them less and less, because you have to remember a thing. The more plugin you add to the sound, you starting downgrading the sound from the originality. And what's make my sounds unique is the location as the source of the sound, because my sound sounds authentic. And this is why trailer houses like to using them, or video company like to using, or TV using, because they sound realistic. They don't sound fake with too much compression, too much EQ and something. Like I always say, guys, and using about like noise reduction. You have to understand one thing. Noise, it's a part of the sound, the location, the charm when you record the sound. You imagine like if Hans Zimmer is going, taking his orchestra, and he's flying to the air studio, and he recording the sound over there, and it's like, okay, we're coming home, we're gonna clean, put like noise reduction, so whatever, like the humming, echo, like deeper, we're gonna take it out. What would be the freaking point of this thing going? You can record this thing in the bedroom. You know what I mean? The sound will be there. So you gotta leave this sound. And a lot of times when you record the sound with the, like especially 96K, this is what I usually record. You record, and when you pitch down the sound under, you starting to feel the low frequency sound starting playing lower, but also the noise is become very interesting sound of the reverb, naturally reverb with the sound. So what you can do under, you can just cut off the high frequency of this thing. Just leave the low frequency as a cushion going under, but keep the top frequency on top. It means your sound starting getting be thicker and bigger and sounds way, way more spectacular. This is what I show exactly in the video, like limitation breeds creativity. And basically I layer stuff, and I'm using Contact because it's like, yeah, thank you, Native Instruments. I really love Contact. Or I'm using Helion from Steinberg, because they have great algorithm when you're pitching down, and you're throwing down pitching, and you overlay them, play with the cutoff filter, and your sounds become huge, basically. You just activate frequency, what the already in the sound, you just don't hear them before. But because you record at 96, you have so much room to pitch down and do with this sound. So that's another secret to my sound. So this is what I do with the drum. This is why the drum hit sound like this. You hear this, what I did. Even originally, the first track, when you hear when I had just hit the key, sounds already fat and big, because I find the sweet spot when just the bass come from and everything. You just have to find the right microphone to pick up this low frequency and capture this. And when you get this thing, you hear this on your headphones, like, whoa, I have something. And believe me, my upcoming videos, I have stuff what I record. It's just going to completely blow your mind. What I did, like example, I use like a, like people on Christmas give like a cookie, like in the metal can. I use the cookie metal can, and basically I creating sound like you hit like gigantic cargo container in the ship. And basically
just from that cookie.
Just from the cookie jar. And I did this thing. And there's a lot of things before, when I was working with Heaviacity on the original Damage or Damage 1 or Damage 2, I go to the junkyard, I record this stuff. Now I don't have to. I learned the technique, and I'm going to share this in the videos too, how I'm recording the stuff and how you can get this massive sound.
Yeah, that I'm looking forward to those. Do you have some ingredient, or the cookie jar? Will this become kind of your a favorite instrument that you're using to spice up your sounds or something? You do some always completely original, you change places, you change things.
Always.
Okay.
That's the beauty. I don't like repeat myself.
Mm-hmm.
I basically find a way how I'm recording stuff, and it's the way how I hear. So like when you watch my videos, you see that the microphones don't move, but I move the object. And why I'm moving this object? Because I'm starting hearing the sweet spot. And when you find the sweet spot, you're starting moving closer. And you closer, and you finally get this tone, and it's recorded, So hit your recorder and just play with this thing, let it resonate, the details, and just move this thing till you find the sweet spot. Trust me, you will find it. You can take like a shoebox and you can record this sound like gigantic explosion. So you just have to find a sweet spot, get close to the microphone, and that's another kicker. The harder you're gonna hit this thing, the weaker the sound's gonna be. The softer you're gonna hit, the sound's gonna be more relaxing, more breathable. And if you pay attention to the drum head, I'm not hitting hard. I'm hitting very light, and you feel like boom. So take anything, whatever you're gonna take, no matter which object. Take like even cardboard box, like small shoe box. Place this over your head, like right here, and just hit with the thumbnail. You're gonna hear like, whoa, it's a lot of bass and something. The sound is there. You just have to raise the microphone instead of your ear and listen and hit soft. The harder you're gonna hear, you're probably gonna get peak. You're probably gonna get some distortion, and the low end is gonna go away because you're pushing more tension, and then when you push more tension, the sound automatically become higher in the pitch. So the softer you hit, the basically the source have more space to breathe, and the resist, the release of the sound.
That is fascinating. Yeah.
Same with the guitar or like cello when I record. You hit hard, the sound is higher pitching, you're losing in the low end. You hit soft, you're starting feedback. Put your ear closer, you're gonna start like, whoa, the bass is just keep going and everything. And that's the key, you know what I mean? You're getting the nice soft sound.
I'll definitely be doing that.
We had
I think my missus is going to be find me when she gets home with different things on my head, tapping them all in different places.
Seriously, like take, like example, like just take like a plastic cup when you're drinking, put over your head. Did you ever, you see like when you put like 2 cups over your head, it sounds different. Even if you muffle your head, it sounds different. But take a cup and just hit, and you're going to start to hear like a low frequencies coming because they are there. You know what I mean? You just have to pick them up.
We had
exactly.
We had a sound challenge once where we wanted to go with cinematic hits because we were inspired by Boom Library, cinematic hits. Native Instruments also has some products, but I think we should revisit that at some point and then have some cinematic hits.
Like the Action Strike is like one of like my favorite library when they did release was actually produced by Boom Library.
Exactly, yeah. They also have corporations.
I mean, it sounds phenomenal, and like I know Axo and the other guys over there, they're fantastic. They're genius what they're doing. They're
very good. They also shared some videos, but they don't release videos that often, behind the scenes videos of their products. I would like to see more, but I mean, they have their name. They don't need to do that. Their products speak for themselves.
I don't need to do this too. But do I want to be this person? I want to, leave one day when I will be gone or something. Then my daughter is going to be proud of me or my son. And see, my dad did this thing. You know what I mean? And I changed life, you know what I mean? The approach how people are recording like a lot of things. Like, I don't know if you see like the first time when I released my video and I show the free microphones position, people were like, oh my God, they're starting commenting, oh, you have out of phase or some other things. Like, I don't have an audio degree. I don't know what's out of phase. And I really don't give a F about this thing. If it sounds good to me, it sounds good. I don't care. You know what I mean? And I record this way. So it's making completely sense because I get directly microphone when I point and my direct point when I'm recording. Then I have stereo microphone was record for me the stereo image. So basically by having three microphones position, I'm able to control if I want the sound be more in my face or farther. If I want to move the sound more to the left, to the right. I can do so many things with this thing at the same time. So by pressing one button, instead of just going with the shotgun. Okay, you have a stereo, you have a mono sound. What are you going to do with this thing? You're going to try to create fake mono by splitting the frequency or add reverb. It's going to be fake. This thing is sound authentic and you can create stuff. And since then, when I released my first video, do you know how many people ask me, what is the bar what I'm using? And I designed this bar. A friend of mine framed this for me on, on 3D printer. And it's custom made to fit the rod pistol grip. So I did this technique. And now, if you're on Instagram, you probably see endless possibilities of people posting stuff, you know what I mean, online with three position microphones when they're recording. Until I show this technique, I never see anyone using this way. And now I see like a big movie studio sounds, they're using these techniques. You know what I mean? And I come with this thing like, I don't know, like 5-6 years ago. And since then, like I see a lot of people using online free microphones.
Well, it sounds good in your sound. So probably when you do something similar, hopefully get also a good sound out of it.
Yeah, because, you know, it's the idea. I don't know. Do you see like my latest setup what I'm using? Okay. I'm not plugging anything to Tascam because I'm using them, but I'm going to show you the very idea, basic of the setup, what I'm using when I'm going. Because, you know, like it's very important when you go on location. I want to focus having less and less stuff, you know, with me.
Yep.
Bring less, you know, like instead bring all the bag, bulky bag, everything. I want to have everything in one hand. So this why, you know, like when Tascam came with this thing, they sent me like almost a year before there was release of this thing, this recorder. So basically, I get this pistol grip, what was sent to me as like something free from lens, photo lens when I get a scan the box. So basically I cut this a little bit, so it's fit right here. So I attach. So basically when I go, one thing, I can hold like this, my recorder. It's easy. If I want it, I can open as a tripod right away and play this whatever I want. But what is greatest thing of this, I taking my shotgun microphone, the Rode NTG5, and this thing have mount like the 4 little horseshoe when you put. So I just attach this right here. Tied up, and with the one cable from here, I'll show you. Oh yeah, so look at this, plug right here, here. And that's my whole entire setup. Everything pretty much what I was recording for the new series of the video. So look at this, you're going, and the kicker is you record 192 kilohertz, 32 beats.
Yeah.
It's insane. So even if people see sometimes, oh, I see like you clipping here on the red, it doesn't matter. I can record shooting tank and this thing, and the sound's going to be perfect. So that's my whole setup right now. The little NTG5 what's have phenomenal bass response to the recording. So when I go directly, like I'm drinking coffee right now, I can record here, the sound, and I can record all the stereo image ambience what's next. So I have perfect 3-channel mix of this thing. Yeah. And you know how much I can do with this sound. And I have additional 3 more microphones to plug if I want. You don't need more. And everything is recording this way. And it sounds beautiful and big. So as you see, you don't need to spend a lot of money right now to the right gear. And trust me, the most important thing, it's your microphones and your record device to getting. Oh, and one thing I want to clarify, because a lot of people ask me why I don't use Zoom. guys, I have a Zoom H1, I have a Zoom H2, and I have an H6 with all the attachment microphones. And the problem, what I find out, the sound for me was kind of noisy and very thin. It doesn't have the low end for that like warm tone. So the moment I hear like first time Tascam stuff, the DR680, I put on eBay everything. And I don't say it's nothing wrong. The whole Damage One, what I do with heavy acid, was recorded on the Zoom H6. And there was the cheapest Rode shotgun microphone, NTG free, because that's all I can afford at this moment. Mm-hmm. And now Rode sent me every single microphone. I have all of them. And for your record, like Sennheiser, the factory and the office is 20 minutes away from my house. And I know people who work over there, and I have every single microphone from Sennheiser, from Neumann collections to all the shotguns, everything. And I'm not using them because they just don't have my sound. You got to find your sounds, what's work the best for you.
Mm-hmm. What you said, kind of the brands that you represent and that you want to have.
Yeah, and I'm saying this right now, not because Rode not paying me anything. They never, whatever they send me, they never ask me to do anything. I have zero obligation with them. Try They're probably like the best company I ever worked, or Native or any or Tascam. They never ask you for something, all you have to do. If I use like long audio microphones, they never question nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They just enjoy see I'm using. Actually, I'm using because they're great. And like the latest mics, when I'm using the Rode TF5, when I record like the drum, I never hear microphones like this. I actually recommend like one composer who worked with Hans, Jacob Shade. He working right on new score and recording like very unique stuff. And he said, Robert, I want to get the warm, big sound. What I can do, I have the Neumann. I said, put them on eBay. And he get the TF5 microphones and he thanked me because he said, yep, that's the warm sound. Because they've been designed to capture all full symphonic orchestra, 2 microphones, and you can capture full orchestra. It means if you can capture the orchestra, you have to capture all frequencies.
Yep.
And when you listen close, listen the sounds, how warm they are. It's just insane.
We have a few questions from the people. Let's have a look at them. So it might be a little bit random, but let's jump in. Alex Epton asks, could you talk a little bit about loudness and dynamics processing? Is there a target level you aim for when delivering finished sound effects for your projects?
Okay. Yeah. This. Rule number 1, never overproduce. And even when you do your own master of the sounds, remember, you have to leave the room for another masters what's going to come after, because when the trailer or video game or anything or TV show, it's done, the whole track, it's going to the different master. So if you're going to squeeze everything to the brick wall and it sounds big and loud, your stuff will be never used because it's going to cause distortion. And it's going to make other elements when your sounds will be placed with make them sound quiet. Actually, in the video, limitation, breeds creativity, I'm showing my setup of the loudness and my limiter, everything.
Trust me, that it's nothing better than original, natural, low end, what you can capture. And the last thing, what I will add, there'll be limiter, and that's my settings.
You should maybe go and look over there because you can see in my final master, the limiter, how I set loudness. So basically it's loudness. I'm going like, I think so it's -2 on the top and 6 on the bottom. And I'm going sometimes like -7 LFEs, whatever this thing is. But I'm very easy on bass, even it's bass big, because bass is the thing what's going to make you sound quiet. So the louder bass, the quieter the sound's going to be. So you have to find the sweet spot. Like, first thing what I do, I'm bringing everything to -6 dB.
Mm-hmm.
That bringing up, even I record louder, when I record it, I always try and make sure the sound is not going in the red. As it's going in the red, okay, then I'm going to use like the clipping or something from Isotope for restoration. But a lot of times I just end up not using the sound. Because the more process I'm having, distort a little bit the sound and it doesn't sound authentic. So this is why I take a lot of times many takes. So I say, okay, I've done this one, other one. Oh, and another thing, good thing with the Tascam recorder when you record, and the same time it's recording for you backup security track, but basically go minus like 12 dB of the other things. So you always have the secure track. So if you screw up something, you can pull the secure track and you're fine and you're safe. But this is what I would do. Just recommend just watch my video and I show over the exactly details, and you're gonna see how the waveform behave, everything when I'm adjusting everything and how it sounds. Because you know it's just a number, but you have to go by the ear. And longest when you make your file big, when you're gonna see the live sound, the loudness point of the sound, it's not square on top, you're fine. The moment you're gonna see like square starting straight phone lines,
Break it
up. It's better if it's not gonna touch, if you're gonna maybe leave like minus 2 dB and give them a little bit room, instead go over. So that'll be my answer.
All right, Alex, I hope this answers your question. You have a second one sent in the Discord a few days ago, which is about deliverables. Do you deliver sounds in surround or Atmos?
No, all the in stereo, because they mix you down with other stuff. And there's so many plugins, you know, right now where they can transform my sound to the surround. If I do music cue, I deliver stems and they are placing them in the surround stage, how they want to place the stems on the music. But sounds in the surround, you know, they do everything. If I do drone or like atmospheres, I send sometimes as a layers too, so they are able to place the layer, you know, in different stage of the pen, whatever you want to do.
All right. Kat.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes. Hey, Kat.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Thank you. Oh, we hear your beautiful seagulls. You call from Scotland. Hello, Scotland.
Yes.
So what is your question, Kat?
So I was wondering if you ever do stereo recordings. So I know you've like spoken a lot about like mono recordings, but if you want to record ambiances and such, like do you do any of that? Or
Yeah, I just show you my setup, you know, when I record everything and mono and stereo at the same time.
Oh, okay. So you have like the shotgun mic for the mono signal, but you're actually using the inbuilt microphones on the Tascam.
I can point it directly, but
okay,
you can take these microphones and place them, you know, like a screw.
Yeah.
And it's just change the directions and you can record. I don't know if you see a different way, you know.
Yeah, okay. That's really
But,
cool.
you know, like, I show you another things, what I did. Stay with me. I built myself this thing, little device.
This must be a big room with many things.
Yep.
I would very much like that setup.
There's other stuff. So basically, this is what I built for myself.
What?
Oh. Is that 3D printed? The ears?
I did that.
That is very cool. Is that for like binaural recording?
Yes. Yeah. So I can place this thing. So if I go on top recording this stuff, I can just play this in the stand somewhere and just put like a dead cat over. Or if I'm the church or somewhere, I can place this thing. So I'm actually getting the really 3D acoustic sound of everything too. Actually, I never showed it to anyone. So you guys are the first one who ever see this.
Oh,
so cool. That is very, very cool.
Peek. That's nice.
So I put this like in the camera stand on top.
Mm-hmm.
Just record everything beautiful 360 degree, because you know, like it adds so much character. Even I use a lot of binaural sound in my sound design. What I do, I use like a spatial audio kind of using the sound particle plugins, and I'm using sound like a spatial audio I process and just add this sound as one of the layer of my sounds, and this what creates this three-dimensional world, even in stereo.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's part of it. But if you're looking for like ambient stuff, I would definitely recommend you look at something like this, make yourself, you know.
Yeah, I managed to pick up like a Mix Pre 6, so I'm trying to find an attachment for like some good stereo recordings. So
yeah, you know, it's like stereo recording. I would recommend you know the company, it's called LOM Audio. It's from Czech Republic.
Yep.
They probably make like the best microphones for stuff like this. Like Jonas just sent me like the latest, like the Lucy. I don't know if you see I'm gonna show you guys. Hold on.
This is amazing.
Do we get like prototype sneak peeks of stuff that's not even out yet?
Oh, listen. Okay, so that's funny. This is my box when I only keep my small microphones, like contacts and other things.
It's a big box for small microphones.
Yeah, so all this, like organic audio send me like the things. It's pretty cool. But the Yoshi, the microphone, looks very, very small. And it's like, I don't know if you know Seiken mics.
Seiken, yeah.
It's a hypersonic microphone. That's the capsule. Look at this, how small it is.
Yeah.
And I think so it's record 5 to like 30,000 K, the frequency response. If you can get, and I think so you can get pair of them for like $150 or $200 pair of them.
Wow.
Just 2 microphones like this for the ambience, and you're going to blow away everybody. The only trick to this microphone is first time he put them on sale, and 2 minutes whole inventory of 1,000 microphones was sold out. So you have to put in the list, and when he say, okay, if they're going on sale this day and this hour, you have to be there, because if you minute, it's gone. It's so many fanatics of these microphones and people who are recording stuff, and they're just incredible. So if you want to record ambience, to be honest with you, you can get like small Tascam like this, RX5, and get these 2 microphones, connect, and you hear, and you'll just blow away.
All right, cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for those tips. They're super useful.
All right. You're welcome.
Then we have a question from Steven. I'll put you up as well. Get ready.
So yeah, I just had a technical question about the X8 because I've been in the market for a new field recorder for a while and haven't pulled the trigger on one. The first video review I saw of the X8 reported some supersonic or like high frequency noise issue, so that when pitching,
you see everything from the one guy, the same guy who posted the video of something.
Yeah. Have you had that issue?
No. And I have the prototype original. Let me tell you something. Look at the spectrum of what he showed, and look how much your ear can hear. Do your ear even gonna hear this thing? No. So do you really gonna give a crap about something what human ear not even hear? Not really.
I guess the question is when you pitch it down, when you record something.
You're not gonna hear this thing, If you wanna hear real noise, what's going on, take like a Zoom H1 or H2 and bring it down. Then you're gonna hear. Especially the one that surround what they make, the ambisonic one. Oh my God. Trust me, all the sounds when you hear me, I record, you don't hear any noises, nothing.
Okay. Yeah. My concern was for pitching, doing some extreme pitch shifting for like high sample rate.
Be honest with you, forget what all these people say. You have to do on your own. And if it sounds good to you and then people like it, who cares? I have the biggest production, TV trailers, movie studios using my sounds around the world. And if they're using, obviously I'm doing something right. But seriously, don't worry about like any day hissing long time ago noise. Because I think so even this thing was already fixed in the firmware update if there was any noise that they've been ahead of this thing. So I don't know if that's convince you. I can go in my own family,
Well, thanks. Right. Thanks for answering that. Yeah.
No, you're welcome.
I wanted to ask, it's always when you're starting out, you're looking at other people, how they do their things. You start imitating them. So you learn, step by step. And one of the things, of course, with marketing, you believe when you start out that you get better if you have this one plugin, right? And then you buy it, etc., etc. But when you get older, I guess, you see all the plugins, you don't know which one to go to. That was my learning. Don't chase all the plugin sales and accumulate plugins. It's not what makes your sound good. What do you have?
I'm going to tell you something. Watch. If you watch my first video or second, how I do what I do, my desk was pretty much clogged with the stuff. There was everything. I have 3 different pair of the monitors. I have one keyboard here, another module. There was machine, there was another keyboard, there was Moog right here. There was everything here. Do I really need this? No. I take it because it was take too much away attention. There was too much distraction for me. I really don't need this. I take everything out. All I have is my Video DaVinci editor because I'm using when I'm doing video, but if I'm not working, it's way in the background distract. So all I have on my computer is my computer mouse, the computer keyboard, mouse, and my CC121 controller for the Cubase when I can fader, play back and forth, and my native instrument control, my little rolly keyboard, and my XY pad right here. That's it. And I stop using all this stuff, goes to a distraction. Same thing applied to the plugins. Guys, I was in the stage when I was buying every plugin because I can. Before I work on the cracks, just like many other before I get from Radium, but I make myself promise. When I ever gonna make money, I will buy every single plugin, whatever I use in software. And I did. And I buy and I speak very loud. And to all of you who even right now using cracks or something, guys, I don't say it's right thing to do, but I don't say it's bad, because if you even using crack or something, you're probably not making money. You just want to learn and you want to find out if the thing is going to be something for you. So it's almost like a free trial, but promise yourself something. The moment you will start making money of them, you will just buy them and you will support this company who's making them, because of them, our job is making it easy. So you want to supporting them. So there will be about like the dark side of this thing, how I start. And I confess this to Native Instrument. I confess this to Arturia. I confess this to Steinberg, to so many other companies. And they all been okay. And they say, we know it's okay. Because you're supporting us, you buy this stuff anyway. And that's the right things to do. Be honest and do this. But how I say, I get to the point when basically every week I was buying new plugin. I buy like the freaking whole bundle of the Lexicon reverbs. Do I use it? No, I don't use it. I use like Bahala reverbs, or I buy Liquid Sonic reverb, like the Cinematic, Professional, or Seven Heaven. I absolutely love these reverbs right now. They're like probably like my favorite reverbs. And what am I gonna do with this Lexicon? I spent like $1,600. Okay, it's gone. I did a lot of mistakes buying so many plugins, because the fancy, they tell you a lot of things. You can do this, you do this. The truth is EQ, it's EQ. If you don't know what to do with the EQ, no matter if you're going to buy FAB filter or PSP audio or native or isotope, it's still going to be EQ. And if you don't know what you do with this EQ, it's not going to help you. You just pay $200 for the fancy interface. And now is the kicker. The same EQ, it already exists and you die. No matter, it's a Pro Tools, Cubase, Fruity Loops, Ableton, you name it, Studio One or Logic. They all have EQs, they all have reverbs, everything. You just have to hear. So a lot of times, basically you just pay for the fancy interface, you're not paying for nothing new. The tools, they're already in, and you die. And over the years, like in the beginning, maybe the stock factory plugin was okay. But in this moment right now, like example, like in Cubase, the convolution reverb, it's a convolution reverb, just like anything else. That just sounds phenomenal, and the compression, EQs, that just sounds blowing my mind. And a lot of times I'm just using the stock factory plugins because, they're the best integrate with the software, the DAW, they never crash. And trust me, you're going to save yourself a shit-loaded money by spending money on additional plugins.
And also time, you don't have to update them.
You're going to be less distracted, having learned how to use what you already have. And instead there, maybe you're going to buy yourself like a pair of nice microphones or nice recorder and focus on recording the best sounds you can, because basically your microphones, that's your ears. when you're hearing. You know what I mean? So the better sound you capture, the less thing you have to use over there on your DAW. Because remember, the more plugins you're going to use, each layer of the plugin you're going to add, you're taking away from the originality of the set, of the sound. Even if you're going to touch EQ, you're going to move your EQ higher or lower, you're taking away from the authenticity of the sound, and the sound starts slowly going to become more synthetic, going away from the originality. Especially if you record this in some special location, each of the changing of the EQ, it's automatically is going to take away from the authenticity of the location where you record the sound, because it's going to start sounding different. So the less plugin you use, it's better. I would recommend you that it's every DAW, I'm assuming, like I know Cubase, Nuendo have this thing, when you can creating your favorite list of the plugins what you want to use, and just select the one really what you're using and have them in your canvas when you're starting working, and you're going to be speed up working way faster. And you're going to save yourself a lot of money because you're going to know what you're able to do with these plugins, you know.
Yeah, I think that is sound advice. It's basically, I guess, when you grow older and more experienced, you kind of want
less is more.
Yeah,
look at my studio.
You come to the conclusion.
At the desk. Look at my recording gear when I'm going. Instead of carrying your bag, that's all I care.
Yep. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead, they're like spending so much money and fancy headphones. If I'm mixing something at home, guess what I'm using for mixing? My earbuds. And you know what I'm using? Because I know them the best. Because all my music, soundtrack scores, when I'm in the gym, anywhere, what's in my ear? Earbuds. Not fancy Sennheiser or like you have biodynamic. Yeah, I have them too. But they're collecting dust. Or someone else want to come they're using, you know. But I know my monitors and I know my earbuds. I listen my own music all time and the earbuds. So instead, wasting my time and adjust my ears to something what I'm going to have for 2 hours every couple of weeks in my ear and trying to say, oh, it sounds different, sounds the best. It's never going to sound right. When you're going to put, after listen and your earbuds or something, whatever you always listen, it's going to sound different. It sounds weird, strange. Why? Because you don't know the headphones.
Okay. So you really do like big commercial work on your earbuds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I know how.
Yeah, you know how they sound. Yeah, and in comparison to other content,
and I know
as well.
I compare, and when I listen other stuff, it's blending with the other stuff right away. It makes complete sense. So guys, stop spending money on fancy headphones, $400 or $600, and Sennheiser was going to promise you incredible sound. Believe me, it sounds incredible. I hear them, yes. But when you're going to mix on them, nobody's going to listen to the sound, and the headphones would cost $600, you know? This may be you, maybe a couple of other people. Mix your stuff and the headphones, if you have to mix on the headphones, and test them, and the headphones would you use the most time. And they're probably going to be like the stock headphones would come with your iPhone or stuff where you buy yourself either Bose or earbuds. Like the earbuds Pro have so much low bass, everything. The sound's just phenomenal. So seriously, try this and you're going to see you're going to improve so much on your mix quality, on your loudness, on your bass control and everything. And you're going to see, because we all want to sound like that, because, oh, I love this soundtrack. I want my soundtrack sound like this. If you're not going to hear the way how they hear your soundtrack and your headphones or speakers, there's no way you will be able to compare with this thing. None of the plugins going to get you much close to this thing, you know?
Yeah.
You have to hear this. And when you feel comfortable, it sounds like this. And you're not even thinking about this anymore. You know, it sounds good.
You use a lot of the stock plugins. Do you have any? What are your favorites?
My favorite is definitely Neutron Isotope. I love PSP stuff. The limiter is phenomenal too. Vintage Warmer I'm using once a while. Then I use Eventide. They have very dark the black hole reverb.
Black hole. Yeah.
And shimmer. It's great. I use some, so once in a while I'm using the other plugins from Eventide because They have very unique, different stuff. Reverb, definitely most I will use like the Liquid Sonic Cinematic Rooms and Seven Heaven, the professional, or both of them. And for my master, with the biggest bust, what I'm getting, that's the funny thing. This plugin was on sale with Com. I buy this plugin in the last minute when there was on sale, like $59, and I said, how bad it's gonna be? I'm gonna try it, $59. And I put this plugin on my chain, on like my bus, master bus, and I was completely blown away. It's like a GUI of so many different processes into one thing. And if you ever want to get close to the Boom sound library, that's the plugin. It's gonna get you gotta have good sound of source. But seriously, guys, and I swear again, Boom not paying me for saying this thing. I pay on my own money. I respect them, but I really think if there's any plugin I would recommend you to buy right now, for the sound design, there will be the Uber Loud from Boom Library. I don't have to use any more multiband compression. I'm using like dynamics to control my bass because, like when you go low, I have a lot of bass. I got to control my low frequencies. That's not disturbed. But overall, Uber Loud is right now must have in my master bus and anything.
But I think we will do that, guys. That we will do another cinematic hits sounds and try to do it the Robert way. It very much interests me to see, the technique of coming close.
So basically, make a challenge. What is the smallest thing you can record, and make the biggest sound of this thing? And anything can go. You can use my technique from the contact, pitching down, or just layering the stuff. How you spread the stuff. I show my tricks, how I'm using, and it's already technique what's work. You can try this more than work on. Watch the videos, see how I did this thing. You can do this thing, and this is just the idea, drumhead. You can do so many things.
Yeah. Okay. We have ourselves a challenge. The next sound design challenge will be about find the smallest object you have, get the biggest sound, and then I'm going to contact you again, Robert, and send you the stuff that we come up with for you just to listen to.
To see, maybe we're going to come maybe with some prize for the people with something.
All right, let's do that. We'll hook something up.
I have no problem contact, like one of my company who I work with and say, hey, can we them like software or something for this? There's a challenge for them what they do.
That would be nice. The Robert challenge. Yeah. Cool. I have one last question, and then we can open up the stage again. Maybe we'll invite some people over so that they can ask the question directly. Is there anybody you look to, as an inspiration that you say, this guy, I really admire his or her work for inspiration? Or you try to keep yourself from any other outside influence to really focus on?
No. I spend a lot of times, like on Instagram and looking basically for like something weird stuff. And sometimes you see people like just post like some weird stuff and just give you like some weird idea, It's like, maybe I can do this, but I can apply this idea and put my twist on this thing.
Exactly.
But it's like any specific sound designer I'm looking for, not really right now, because I get to the point when I know them all and I copy them all.
Mm-hmm.
I learn how to copy them, So the thing what inspired me is like average person could be you who's gonna post the next video and I'm gonna see something. Oh, that's cool. That's a really great idea, Yeah, you get to the point then, you're watching like I always respect people like Skywalker Sounds when they're recording stuff. They're showing something like the especially what they do, like the anniversary, the Star Wars, or the video like a couple months ago. That was fantastic, They show like a little behind the scene. You never know. That's the reason why I post my videos, because I want you to be inspired, maybe, and maybe take a spin what you see from me and put your own spin. And I'm gonna say, that's really cool. Just like music, you have 12 keys. How many songs you can make around the 12 keys? Look at this. You sound like we all come here.
Look at this.
But in different combinations,
It's surprising, yeah.
Yeah, surprisingly. So this is how it works, you know?
Yeah. I find it always interesting that some people are afraid to show what they're doing. I mean, my teaching at the university is completely the opposite. I show them all the time. It gives me great joy to share what I do. I'm really not afraid of showing and inspiring people, because they can't immediately do what I do. They have to anyway make their own experience and then create something original from them. So I think it gives you so much more also joy seeing that people try and do something, and you get inspired, and then it's a back and forth. It's like playing ball, right? You do something, somebody else picks up the idea, does something amazing, and it's new, and you get the idea again, you put a spin on it. It's great.
So it's just like, you know, imagine you're a musician, you're a drummer or keyboard player, and you're spending like 10 years playing in your basement or in your room, practicing every day. And you will never show this to people how good you are, how well you play. They'll be kind of like, what's the point? You want to go play with the better musician even than you, so they're going to make you sound better. You're showing them how you're playing. They inspire you to make even you better. So to be honest with you, people who will always think, oh, I'm going to hide the secret. I'm not going to show this to anyone because I just discovered this. I said, dude, you're not discovered this. You don't discover America. You know what I mean? It's already this. You discovered only this in your mind. And the people who acting like this, who don't want to close, they never show anyone or reveal the secret, they're never going to make it in the professional league. It's just not how it works, you know. Any place where you can go, even, you know, from the game design field, you know, it's a not game of the individual, it's a teamwork. Go work on the movie, it's a teamwork. It's open book. When you go to some levels, that it's an open book. The only what's going to make you different from the player 1 or 2, it's going to be maybe technique, how you're going to approach the sound, but all the stuff, how you process everything after, there's no any secrets, you know. And to see how you're recording. This is why I show how I'm recording, because I'm not afraid to showing you, and I don't feel any competition showing you, because competition of what? I'm getting so many messages like, thank you for your video, thank you for the inspiration, it's the best thing I ever see, I'm glad I find you, I automatically subscribe, I spend like hour on your channel watching this stuff. This is what I want to do, you know. And sometimes, you know, like I'm getting message from the girlfriend and asking like, I know my husband watching your video, something he'd like to start, but he's maybe afraid. Do you have any idea how I talk to him, to approach him, so maybe he's going to back to this thing, because I know this what's make him happy? And I'm getting emails like this from wife, from mothers of the kids who want to do something, try something different. So many people. And if you watching me, that's a big chance maybe one of you already sent me message. And I always try my best to respond to them. And if you're one of them who I sent a response, just raise your hand. Okay.
That's a very nice closing thought, I think. If you're still up for it, we can get some people into the room as well, so they can ask their question.
You know, my wife just left. She goes to the gym right now, so I have time to move it.
If anybody of you has a question already, Bradley, I think you had one, so shoot away.
So I did have a question. I know earlier you were mentioning things like working on your portfolio and demo reels and how we can get stuck in our head of like trying to perfect this ultimate sound design reel, and you will spend however long on it. I was just curious what your recommendations were, or how you would suggest to maybe better acclimate ourselves or kind of prepare ourselves for working in deadlines, or better yet, but like how to show that we can work under deadlines.
So basically, you know, I would do even like, instead focusing on take recording so many different things and show, I will leave this thing to post this thing on my social media and put like videos over there. Like, hey, this is what I do, different examples if you want to see. But in your reel, I will be maybe do focus just on the one sound, but from the beginning to the end, how quickly you can record the sound, show how you process the sound, and the final result. Or even start with like, okay, that's the sound, and now I'm gonna quickly show you my entire process, what I use, how long it take to get to this sound. All this kind of stuff. And that's more, people are gonna see, okay, he's creative. He's definitely creative, how he show how he did, and then online and his like virtual CV, he have more stuff to show and say, oh, he did this, and this stuff. That guy is interesting. He had different approach to the sound. It's different. I would do this way, If you want to, please check. And that's a big chance people like this, they're going to contact you because I say, okay, you feel confident what you're doing. You know what I mean? And if they're going to see like 2, 3 different samples of your videos, I say, okay, this guy is legit. He knows what he's doing. So let's send him email or shoot him, contact him. And you never know, I don't say it's guaranteed, but I say in a lot of cases right now, works for me like magic. Like, look at this. I'm today guest speaker on this Zoom because I share my stuff. And, it's kind of like a pinnacle of your stuff because people recognize you, you know what I mean? And I see how many people send the chat. And it's a cool thing, people actually pay attention to you. So this is what I would do. And business more by recommendation, not by just sending email with the attachment.
Okay, Casper, you also had a question?
Yeah, I did. First of all, hello, Robert. It's like a pleasure speaking and hearing you. I am also from Poland, so it's really amazing to see that you did make it this far and you are such a, for me personally, you are kind of a star in sound design. So it's really great to see that people from smaller countries can also make it, because there is this kind of thinking that I am not from the USA, I am not from this all famous countries, so there is kind of glass ceiling for me, and it's not true. We can all make it wherever we are from. But
before I go, are you on Instagram?
Yes.
Send me private message after and just say hi, it's Casper.
Okay, I will. But I wanted to ask you another question. I also have this microphone Rode NTG5, and it's amazing. It's a little bit more on the bass heavy sounds, at least that's what I think. Yeah, but I think you also mentioned it, that it's really great when it comes to the bass. And I really like to pair it with my Zoom H5 microphones because, as you also mentioned, they are a little bit thin. They don't
have a low end. Exactly.
Yeah, and they kind of make themselves complete. The NTG gives the bass and the Zoom gives the high end. And I wanted to ask you if you also try to match your microphone setups and different microphones to have the fullest spectrum.
Same thing. Low bass, here what I'm using.
Mm-hmm.
And this microphone is great for mid, high, and fine with bass, but not close to this thing. Now, when you know anything about mixing music, everything, the secret to the great mix is bass always go in mono, go in the center. It means you have center position of the low frequency and you have the low details of the sound. But the high microphones and top stereo will get you all the missing stereo image because you're making stereo by the mid and high image, not by the low frequency bass. So you keep the low frequency in the center and the high and mid on top. And that's your matching. And it doesn't matter if it's going to be Zoom, Tascam, or anything else.
Yeah, that's true. And I also wanted to ask you, have you tried some mid-side microphones? Generally speaking, the mid-side technique of recording. Because I know there is Sennheiser MKH 416S, and it's the 460, but with the side microphone that you can get 2 XLRs out of it, and you get the mid signal, but you also get this side signal, and it works really nice. I tested it, and it's great that you have this mono bassy signal that's really clean, but you can also give it a little bit of width, and you only use one microphone, so it's really handy.
Nah. The thing is, I like this setup better because I can control my mono microphone. If I want to, I said before, if I want to sound in my face, I can make it louder. If I want to farther, I can move back. If I want to move to the left, to the right. With position, what you talk about, you kind of stuck limit. You can't do this stuff.
Yeah.
So believe me, the setup what you have right now, it's way better because you separate stereo channel where you can spread them up. You have individual control on them, and you have the low end, and it's pretty good in the details too. Because remember, cinematic sound, it's very, very warm. It's not the high pitch, it's warm sound. So the nice low end, control low end and balance is the key.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Ariel, you also had a question. Are you up for it?
I was just going to double check and see what that shotgun mic was that you attached.
Oh, that's Rode NT-G5.
Okay. And
it's actually come with the pistol grip with everything, you know?
Okay, that's really cool. What kind of contact mic do you like best?
It's moist resist and dust resist, so you can record and steam and everything when it's dusty, and it's like a tank. It's really good.
Awesome. And what kind of contact mics do you like the best?
There's 2 things. I'm using the organic audio because it's a hydrophone too. It's magnetic, so you can put in the water, and it has magnet too, so you can attach to the magnets. Then I'm using the other pair. What I use is Bacchus Berry pickups. I'm using 2 of them, and this is my latest discovery. What I'm using. And my latest videos, I'm using this microphone. They're very good. They're very sensitive. Nice bass. So you can attach them everywhere with special putty what they have. They're very sensitive, small, and they're great too. And I also like to use a lot, and that's my favorite thing, is from Long Audio, the Girlphone with magnet. Thank you, Jonas. He sent me a bunch of them too. So it's with magnets, so you can attach this anywhere, or like suction cup, put to the glass, and it's just record low frequency, very, very low. So
awesome.
There'll be my mics what I'm using.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's cool. Harvey is not here, but he's still watching. Asked if when is it worth to get an agent?
You're not getting agent. Agent finding you. Agent have to find you in this business.
Okay.
Basically, if you're starting getting jobs and people talk about you, how I say, business more by recommendations, agents that find you, and they will renegotiate. They will be starting negotiations for you.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not on this level to even asking what is the good way to find agent, because this is not how they work. It's a small business.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think I got all of them. So if you have any more questions, people who are here in this room, then just shoot straight away.
I've got like one question that you kind of answered a little bit earlier.
Sure.
So in terms of when you're reducing noise from your recordings, like what is the line of like removing and not removing? Or is it kind of just a...
Want to know the secret?
Yeah.
If you go on my Robert Dudzic on YouTube, it's first video on top, and it's called How I Do What I Do 4. This is my class.
Yeah.
And I show over there something was going to answer your question. It's pretty much when I record one thing, like example, I go to like Vintage Gear Museum and I record like some metal clunks or other things. And then it's reverb, there's other noises. I just want this clunk. I'm not using noise reduction. I use a noise gate.
Okay.
Just like when you go on the concert, they always put, because as a drummer, I learned this, they always put noise gates on the drums. So the other signal not bleeding. So the noise gate, it's only will be open to the impact of the sound, and it's closed right after. So you will have nothing else, because when you're going to start taking noise away, the noise comes with the price. You're going to take away from the frequency of the sound, and the sound's not going to be sound the same. You're starting to get a little more muffled, losing that. If you use noise gate, you're going to prevent all the sound, and you can set the up how much you want to open noise gate, so how much you want to hear attack and how much you want to hear the tail of the sound. And you can always do a little fade in the end. Trust me, nothing's going to be sound like this. I highly recommend you go watch how I do what I do for. This is my class. It's like a half-hour video.
Yeah.
But I go over everything, and I exactly show how I'm like in the location and the Vintage Gear Museum, how I'm recording this stuff, how I clean everything. And it sounds just like you will be here in the movie.
Cool.
And even though there's gigantic rooms with steam engine where there is no any sound panels, nothing.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Thanks so much for answering.
Yeah, so check this out.
I will do.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else?
I wouldn't mind asking one more very quick thing. Just for your Tascam shotgun-like mount. Yeah, what did you do underneath to attach the thing? Was that part of the pistol grip?
Yeah. So it's basically, so the Tascam come with two different mounting. One is like a regular mount when you can put on the screw.
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay.
But the second one right here, it's the regular shoe mount. Like if you're gonna get like any DSLR camera and you want to attach a microphone to the camera or the flashlight, same thing.
It's not on the grip, it's actually on the recorder.
On the recorder, the built in. So basically what I did, I look for like shotgun mount for the DSLR camera. And the first thing is come this part, and it's made by Small Rig. So I get this thing, so it's fit just like in the camera under.
Right.
So you can tie it up. It's tight, see? And I place my shotgun microphone. And
really handy.
Great because it's come with the shock resistant too. So all I do is just tie it up. And you can bounce, solid, works.
Cool. And then
it's about $35 or something.
Yeah.
But with the shock mount, it's worth it, you know?
All right. And that happens to be like the perfect kind of distance as well for the shot, like, because there's quite a bit of space between the shotgun capsule and the, yeah.
But, you know, because you're getting directly sound, but you talk about the stereo image sound, you know?
So you want it to be a bit further back.
You're going to be a little farther and, you know, listen, you can move the shotgun even closer, you know, like.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, so you can. Do you really want to be like in the same level? You can do this, you know. You have close and you have stereo right away image. You can do whatever you want, you know.
Yeah, that does look really, really convenient.
It's very, and look at this. First of all, it's very small. You can go on the field recording and you can put it like in your backpack. And you have all studio and your hands, and you can record 192 kilohertz, 6 tracks at the same time with backup tracks and 32 beats. You can't beat this stuff. The technology just goes so far right now that it's just insane.
Then I would say, Robert, thank you very, very much. I'm going to take you up on the offer that we are going to do a sound challenge and then sending you some things. Maybe you'll come again as a guest and then listening and feedbacking.
Send me, don't send me everyone. Pick up like 10 the best ones. And I can listen, and maybe we can do like a grand prize after. Then basically this person will be get maybe like one-on-one session with me Zoom for the winner, when I would just meet with the person and go deeper to the analyze stuff and say what you can do. If there is anything, what I would suggest to even make it better.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
You want to make it a competition?
Now I want to enter as well. Benedict,
like I would never do this. It would be like private, like 101 with me on Zoom or Skype or whatever, and I would just basically go analyze your stuff, and just there will be like a grand prize for this thing. You know?
Cool. All right, let's do that. Robert, I think
you never know. Business work by recommendation. If I like something, you never know where they're leading you after.
Exactly. It's your gateway to Hollywood.
I don't say that, but I work with a lot of companies. I know a lot of people in the business, and they're constantly looking for somebody.
Yeah.
I don't promise anything, but the hardest thing is to get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
But if you're not gonna show what you do, you will never get your foot in the door.
I have to say, this title sticks with me so much. It's so simple and so powerful. How I do what I do, it's genius. It's genius.
And I highly recommend you check the new series, Limitation Creativity, because there's more videos coming. When I focus just on recording, one thing with the details is step by step from the beginning to the end. What I use, how I use.
Cool. I'm looking forward to it. And then if you want to take part in our sound design challenge, if you came via Twitter, on our profile, there's the link to join the Discord where we hold these sound challenges. So feel free to join there. Or you go to our website. It's also there. The invite link to the Discord. It's stillalive.games/community. So there you'll find a link to our pro Discord. Join there. We have this session, and I will prepare something so that we can have a lot of fun later, and I will send the 10 best ones to Robert, and we will have a little session. Cool. Thank you very, very much for your time. It was over 2 hours. It's crazy. Over 2 hours.
But you see, like, I love what I do. And that's the key to success. If you love what you do, you will never have to
be bored
of your life.
Yeah. Exactly.
And you know what? I'm going to give you right now the biggest secret how to be successful and making the business. And I don't say this to a lot of people, but it's very simple. And I want to end it on this note. Just be nice for no reason. And that's going to give you longer than just be nice for something. Be nice for no reason, and they will carry you long, long way. Your whole entire career.
That is a great thought. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope to see you in our sound challenges. I hope to see you again at some point, Robert. You always meet twice, right? At least have a very good weekend, everybody. And I'm looking forward to all the sessions in the future.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robert.
Have a great day.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.